Hey, what's going on, everyone? Just going to bring up a topic that I see, especially a lot of the new players bringing up. Wing Fighter did open up a section to where you can now do equipment forging. And so, what in the heck is equipment forging? And what it is basically when you start collecting a whole bunch of your weapons here and shields, ultimate bombs, and lasers, and different things like that, these can add up really, 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 really fast. And so, if you want to clear some space, they made a pretty cool feature that you can basically equipment forge, and it will automatically do that for you. And so, when you do this, these are going to convert into basically forging cards or equipment cards or chips, whatever you want to call it. And right here at the bottom right, you can see I have 13 basically on the main gun alone. When they first came out with it a couple weeks ago, I did forge a bunch of my stuff just to see what it would do and how it reacted. And so I do have some of these already built up. And you can see again, I have 13 equipment forges or cards, shards, chips. I mean, I don't think there's an exact name on that. I haven't seen an exact name. But of course, you have your auto fuse when you get into this section here. And basically what this one's doing, let me see here. I'm going to go to all. When I click the auto fuse for all, it's going to take basically your basic of the basic weapons. They start out in black, then they go basically to green, then they go to blue, then they go to purple, and then you forge those into basically gold. Then you go into reds, and then you go into purples. But from what I'm seeing, most of the equipment forging is really for your mainly your purple weapons that are collecting overages on. And so if I do an auto fuse here, what's going to happen is basically my black weapons, the very, very bottom of the weapons are going to change basically into green. And then again, your greens are going to turn into blues. So you can see here. So here's all my black entry level weapons. And then, like I said, it's going to go into the greens. Then it's going to go into the blues. And then these will turn into purples once you have 3 blues. And of course, you need 3 of the same weapon basically in order to get out of the blue stage. And so how do we do the equipment forge? And let's go here. Now there's some positives and I have maybe some negatives about this. So you might want to be a little careful about doing this to a degree. And so maybe I can explain that here in a little bit. So the way to do equipment forging is you're going to want to go to your inventory to the left of the screen here under community. Click that, and of course here's your items that we have, and then you have your shards, and then right here is your equipment, and you can see it says equipment forging. Then you can also keep going. You have your gems that you can look at, and then your turret pieces. Now most of these, like the gem and your turret, your pilot shards, all of this is derived into the actual section. So if you go to pilot, you're going to be able to use basically your shards there. If you go to gem, they have a section within the gem section of basically so you're going to go into fighter. Here, I'll just do it for you guys. So if you go into fighter, you go to gem, you can see right here it has an automatic fuse basically here also. And I guess I can fuse some here. So it's kind of doing kind of the same concept but the only one that they opened up so far is the equipment forging in itself from this direct page. So equipment forging, the plus is when I click the equipment forging, look what it's going to do. It's going to give me a list of basically weapons that it will convert into these equipment forge cards, shards, or chips, whatever you guys want to call them. And let's see. You can set the minimums. You can save some. You don't have to do them all at the same time. And that's kind of where I was going to go with, there might be a little bad side to this, and you might not be paying attention. And maybe I can go over that. And so right here would be an example. I need basically my crescent wing gun to go into the gold. So if I only have one crescent wing gun and I do this forge and it turns into a card, I kind of lost my crescent wing gun. And I'm going to not do this one on this forge. I'm going to leave that alone. And I'll give you guys another example of what I mean. But all of these other pieces here, I will go ahead and confirm. I will forge them into the cards. And you can see what I just got in each one of the sections here between your main gun, your wing gun, your missile, your armor, and your ultimates. So I am going to get out of here. I cannot do anything else. I forged as much of the weapons as I could and consolidated these to open up other slots. And so it's a little bit easier to kind of maintain and see what you're doing in your equipment logs, basically. So I'm going to go back basically to equipment. And now you're going to go into fuse. And then what's really cool about this again, guys, is they have it broke down. You can do all main gun again. You can do wing gun, missiles, armor. And this way you can, really consolidate to what you're trying to do or trying to upgrade. But I'm going to go back to the wing gun as the example of where I said this could be somewhat of a bad thing to a degree. And so one of the bad parts about this is if I would have taken this wing gun here and forged it basically into this card, I wouldn't have a wing gun at all to use these cards. I need this crescent wing gun to go up into the gold. But here's how basically those equipment forge cards, shards, or chips, whatever you want to call these, this is how it works. So what's cool about it is once you get basically these shards, I'm just going to call it shards from here on out, guys, equipment shards, they will merge with just about any purple until that purple weapon is at level 2. So let me give you an example. So I need to upgrade my crescent wing gun. I'm going to use one of my basically weapon shards, and let's go ahead and fuse it. And so my crescent wing gun went up to a 1 star. Now again, you guys can use basically any of the purple weapons. You can use those shards on to get them up to the 2nd star. Again, you need 3 weapons in the purple, and one of them at the end has to be the same one. And so here I go again. So I'm going to bring this back up to a level 2. So I have basically 2 weapons to make 2 stars, and you need 3 to move up into the gold. So I'm going to use this again, and I'm going to use one, and look what it's telling me what it's going to do. It's going to go basically to a 2-star crescent. And so I'm going to fuse that. Now, here's another example of what I was saying. So if I don't leave a couple of these crescents, look what happens. I don't have one, because when I click that to go up to the gold, look what it's asking for. It's asking for the same weapon. So guys, when you guys are doing this, be sure you are paying attention to what it's showing you in that box with the blue square lights going around it. It is literally showing you what you need to go up or go up to the gold, even though it's showing the crescent 2-star wing gun, and then it has an arrow pointing down showing that it will turn into a gold. But again, if you forge all of these weapons into basically the weapon shard or the forges, or like I said, we'll just call it shard just to make this a little bit easier. But if you get rid of all of those and you convert them all into shards, you're not going to be able to upgrade these if that makes sense now. So you might want to leave a couple of each one out. So when you do use your shards, your equipment shards to upgrade your purples to 2 stars, you're going to still need one of those weapons to get to the next level. So I don't think that you should forge them all at the same time, because again, you need some of these extra same weapons in purple to go up to the gold. So I'd be really, really, really careful. I'm not sure if this is how this works too, and I'd be a little weary. I haven't seen it take any of the Titan gear and actually forge the Titan gear. So I don't know if that's just automatic that it doesn't do that. But when you go to that forging, just as a reminder, you guys might want to look in there and just make sure that it's not forging your Titan gear. I don't think that it does. I haven't seen it do it yet. But for example, I have two. I have two basically main guns, Thor main guns, and again, I haven't seen the forging side of it take these yet and actually turn them into forging cards or shards. So be really careful and just make sure, again, I don't think that they do, but just make sure that those aren't in there, because you do not want to lose your Titan weapons whatsoever. And I would be really careful with that. But look, so here's another tip, guys. You do not need 3 more of the Thor main gun to get to a gold. Look what's happening when I do that, and this is very important for the players that don't understand that you need to just get this to a level 2. And so basically what it's saying is those forging cards, it doesn't matter what's in that forging card. It's a forging shard or card that you can use on any purple to get them up to a level 2. So I'll go ahead and do this for you guys. I already have my Thor main gun up to par. Unfortunately, these are just leftover pieces, and for the sake of the game, I'll go ahead and just do this for you guys just to show you how it works. But yes, you can use these shards, equipment shards, to upgrade your Titan gear or your Titan weapons. And so I just did that twice, and look what I have, guys. I have a 2-star Thor main gun, and it didn't have to be specifically a Thor at all. It's just asking for purple weapons, and so that's why they converted these. The Equipment Forge converts these into these little cards now, is because that's all you need to do is just, have a weapon, and these cards are representing that I have weapons. Basically, I have 15 purple weapons to forge into other weapons until it gets to the 2-star. And then if I click onto the Thor main gun, look what it's asking for, guys. Look, it's asking for, again, the same weapon, the same suit, but it has to now be that weapon. So again, when you're going back to forging outside of the Titan, you want to make sure you leave a couple of those pieces. Do not forge them all together. It could be a huge mistake, and you might not realize what you did. So hopefully the players that watch this video, saves you a lot of time and headache, and trying to recollect those weapons when you already had them, but you converted them basically into an equipment shard. So careful with that. But again, this Thor purple 2-star is now asking for a Thor purple to go to gold. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that and see how the gold, see, I'm going to take it off, take it on. Look what happens, guys. It's showing me that I can do this, and I'm going to fuse this for the sake of the game so that you guys can see that I used 2 equipment forge shards, cards, or chips. I know I already said I was going to use shard, but again, I just forged 2 of those shards on my purple Thor to get a 2-star purple, and then I took my original other Thor purple and forged the 2 together to make the gold. So that is how that works, guys. But again, that forging, you guys want to be just a little tiny bit careful on that. Again, leave a couple of those extra weapon pieces out there. And you start doing a little bit of math here. But if you're one of the players that just has an ungodly amount of these weapons just sitting in there, it is truly a really cool feature that can clean that up really quickly, convert those into, again, the equipment forge shards, cards, or chips. And so I just wanted to kind of bring this up. And again, how to get to it. You're going to go into your inventory, and it's in your equipment side of your inventory. And one last little thing here. So you guys saw that I had my card in, for example, the main gun. So if I go to each one of those, I'm going to have basically those equipment forge shards. But look, it doesn't show how many I have in my equipment. And I don't know if they meant to do that or not, but I would love to be able to see how many of those cards I have, per, and they do not show up into this inventory. And I personally think that that's a little strange, and they need to fix that, and they need to show that inventory, because those are basically weapons sitting in cards now. So why are they not showing in my inventory list? And so I think they need to fix that personally, because I want to see, is it worth it? Do I even need to? Do I have 30 of those cards already? Do I need to do the forging? And like I said, leave some of those weapons out there, guys, because it can bite you in the end. And so, my big example, I'll do it one more time here. We'll go back to the equipment. I'm going to go to fuse wing gun. But if I took that crescent, and this is the big example, and I forged that basically into that equipment forged card or shard, look what happened. I don't have another weapon to, I don't have another crescent wing gun now, because it converted into an all-in-one shard. So you have to have, again, one more time, you have to have some of those extra weapons laying around to get to that next level. And why am I trying to get to that next level? Well, look at my wing gun. It's asking for basically 2 gold wing guns, and then it's asking for a red weapon. So up there at the top right hand corner, guys, it's not specifically telling you what, even though it looks like the cannon itself, you can use any red weapon, basically, is what that's saying in there. I know that's a little tiny bit confusing, but 9 out of 10 times on your, converting to red weapons, you can generally use just about any weapon to do that. And I chose to use basically the crescent wing gun. And so it's crucial that I get this to go to gold, because then from that gold piece, when the crescent, and when I have that other crescent, look what it does. It's going to give me that red crescent that I need. And then I'm one more wing gun away. So right here, you guys can see I'm one blue wing gun away from getting into the purple. And then once I get that purple, I can take my purple, and look what it's asking. It's asking for that purple to go to gold. And if I get that red crescent and I get that extra wing gun, look what I can do here. I can make a 5-star wing gun finally. So it is time consuming. Can be a little bit of a pain in the neck, but it is well worth it when you get these pieces. I'm super excited about it, but I just wanted to make sure, from the entry stage, what is equipment forging? How do I use it? Let me see how the cards work. And hopefully this kind of, just helps clarify how to do this, where to go. Keep some of your weapons out again, guys. This just makes things a lot easier. Some players probably might not even use it at all. Some of us old players have had it, lived without it for so long that we're just kind of used to it. But again, if you have a completely full inventory and you didn't want to sit there for 19 hours, putting everything together, this would be a very, very cool feature, especially for that. So, well, I hope this helps. Please give me a comment. Let me know what you think of the video. And I really do appreciate everybody's support. And as always, at the end of this, guys, just have fun.